Kaspa holders, welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. Appreciate you guys as always, for tuning in on a day-to-day basis. To be quite frank with you, in terms of retail interest right now, it's pretty much almost at the lowest level we have seen in over the last, I would say, 6 to 7 months. Because of course, due to so much uncertainty, you are starting to see people not paying that much attention to the crypto space, as well as even obviously the traditional stock market. But again, if you're here, again, give yourself props, of course. Because during times like this, you do tend to see very low amounts of people paying attention to the crypto space. And if you're still here, you're still continuing to learn, evolve and do your due diligence research and understand this market more. You are here to stay for the long term, because of course people are going to come and go, especially when the market starts popping off. I've been saying this, I've been emphasizing this on so much on my channel from the beginning. You tend to see everyone become the biggest moon boy of all these projects, when the prices are just going crazy. But when you do see uncertainty come, you do tend to see a lot of manipulation, a lot of sideways momentum really come to reality. That's when people are nowhere to be seen. And again, that is where it's comical in my opinion. But looking at Kaspa right now, it is down a little bit, about 2.4%, with the price currently sitting at 6.44 cents going into Saturday morning. Also down about 2.4% in Bitcoin comparative. Now, if you're looking at the market cap, 1.67 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume at about $78 billion. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer for you guys. Anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So now, looking at the dominance index, I did mention this in my H-bar update if you did end up watching that. If not, no problem. You are starting to see the dominance going into the Saturday morning, pulling down. But, before we start getting excited, look what we have seen pretty much the start of April. This is not the first time you have seen the dominance pull down. You actually have seen the dominance pull down, like I would say, 3 to 5 different times. And all these different times, you have seen the dominance making its way towards the upside. Of course, the stock market has seen quite a large retracement, which of course has gotten a lot of people scared. And right now, Bitcoin, as I've mentioned in my other updates, has been holding much better than the traditional market, which got a lot of people skeptical, because it kind of makes no sense. But is this really the time for Bitcoin to shine for the first time? We don't really know that as of yet. I think we need a little bit more confirmation, but I still think, Bitcoin is pretty much on the neckline. It could literally do anything at this point, because obviously as of now, we're still ranging at the 38.2, but obviously if we're not able to close around this range and remain above this range, the chances of us falling down to some of these levels are in play. But with that said, let's analyze and take a look at what's happening with our good old friend Kaspa right now. So if you're looking at Kaspa's price right now, you can see this for yourself, 6.45 cents, pretty much ranging around this level. Obviously, I've talked to you guys about this support before. We've been discussing this support over the last few days, and as of now, we have seen it, the support pretty much playing out for us. But of course, you don't really want to see the support being lost, because if it's able to do that, 6 cents is on the table, and obviously, if that does not hold it down, we go to that 5.5 cents. So far, pretty much, if I were to summarize right now, again, let me kind of show you guys the hourly time frame. You're starting to see a little bit of a consolidation pattern playing out over, I would pretty much say, since March 29th. You are starting to see this nice consolidation pattern playing. But in terms of the breakout confirmation, it still is the same thing that I've been speaking to you guys about, which is at 8.2 cents right now. We got to kind of keep in mind that the entire market is kind of seeing the shaky end due to BTC, as well as of course dominance being so high. So obviously, if you factor those things in, it makes sense why you are seeing a Kaspa down. But as of now, so far so good, of course, considering what's happening with the broader market. But again, you really want to see this breakout that I've been talking about before we start getting excited, in my opinion. But let me know down below what you guys think. What are you guys doing right now? What are your personal predictions on Kaspa? What is your long-term, take? Are you still, long-term bullish on Kaspa, or, what is your overall take? Do let me know in the comments down below. We'll see you later in Crypto ZX, and peace out.